Welcome to Profit First Nation, the official podcast for entrepreneurs who are operating their businesses in the zone of permanent profitability. I'm Mike Michalowicz, the author of Profit First, and now here's your Profit First Nation guide, Danielle Mulvey.
Hello, my entrepreneurial friends. Today we are going to talk about your exit. Yep. Exactly. By exit, I just started my business. I love what I do. I can't imagine exiting my business. I have no interest in selling my business. Well, my friends, whether you want to exit your business for personal reasons, or it's just that time and God decides that you no longer are on this earth to run your business, then that is an unplanned exit, let's call it. It's important to right now, no matter if you are a startup, if you've been in business for 6 months, a year, 10 years, 15 years, you need to start planning for your exit now, because the sooner you start planning for your exit, the more value you get out of the business when you do have to sell. And think about it too. I mean, you guys all have put blood, sweat, and tears into this. And, if something tragically happened to you and you're gone and your business has been feeding your family, well, number one, I hope you have life insurance. But number two, what is your family going to do after the life insurance is gone? You have an asset. Your business should be a tremendous asset to you and your family. And so we are going to talk about exit now, and we're going to keep revisiting exit. We're going to have very special episodes dedicated to this topic. Episodes actually going forward, ending in 2. And in 7, we'll talk about building value in your business, building and maximizing that value so that when it comes time to exit, whether you want to exit to pursue something else, whether you want to exit to travel the world, whether you're forced to exit because you're no longer here, we want to maximize that value in your business. So, some of you are like, all right, I've been waiting for this episode. I want to get out in 5 years. So that makes sense. Let's start planning now. And some of you, again, maybe are just starting your business. So that's okay. You could get hit by a bus tomorrow. I would hate for that to happen. But even a year from now, if your business is 1 year old, it should have value. It should have something for your family to be able to sell and make some money posthumously for all of the wonderfulness that you put into your business. So there's 2 questions when it comes to contemplating exiting your business. Number 1, is your business ready to sell? And number 2, are you personally ready to exit? All right. So we're going to focus on both of those today. But I want to share with you some statistics. The first is in a report from PricewaterhouseCoopers and EPI, and they surveyed business owners 1 year after their exit, and 75% of owners say they regretted their exit. Now, obviously, we couldn't survey those individuals who tragically exited, not on their terms, but because they were no longer on this earth. And out of that 75%, or all of those business owners who say they regretted their exit, just 5%, only 5% who exited their business and still lived to tell about it, ended up happy with the proceeds from their sale. Only 5%. Which means that they weren't necessarily ready to sell. They had other reasons to sell, or they were just a little bit naive in going into it and didn't put the effort into getting it to the maximum value at their point of exit. So remember, you will exit your business one day on your terms or God's terms. And so let's prepare for the inevitable now, because when you exit and you will exit, you want to get the maximum valuation for your business. So the sooner you start planning your exit means you'll be ready to again cash out at the premium versus your competitors. And you know what? You have already done one big smart move in preparing for the valuation of your business, and that is implementing Profit First. That is step number one, because what Profit First implemented in your business does for you, and having all of those 5 core accounts plus your profit hold and your tax hold account, is it gives real clarity to your financials. And someone buying your business is seeing that they're buying a business that can, provide a regular recurring salary for their family. They're kind of maybe buying a job, but that owner's pay is really important and really significant to see on your financial reporting. And, again, it's really clear that, oh my gosh, and there's money in this business for taxes. It does the work for you, and it doesn't make this real difficult, or, it doesn't look like you've been using your business as a personal piggy bank, which again, by not using your business as a personal piggy bank, you are driving up the value of your business because you have a true solid business that is producing enough for you to cash out on and have profit in the bank to correlate to your profitability. You have owner's pay on a consistent, regular, recurring basis, and you have money to pay your taxes. And then what's left is what the business runs on and continues to grow from. All right. So there is a lot of overlooked aspects of determining business value. And, there's some factors that also play into it. Interestingly, businesses with more than one owner actually are valued higher than businesses with one owner. And the reasons for your exit can also drive the valuation of your business. And so it's not just anecdotal when I talk about preparing for your exit. So based on an analysis of 1,511 owners and their companies, the owner's personal reason for exit and the actions that they have personally taken to exit do play a significant role in where they land in terms of maximizing the value at the time of exit and the time of sale. So when you compare two similar businesses in the same market, same geography, same industry of similar size, if each owner has a different reason for exiting, they will likely have vastly different business values. And there can be other factors that can impact the value of the business, including the steps you take to prepare for an eventual exit. Because remember, you're going to exit. Boy, I am glad I did not, start a little fun drinking game, even if it's drinking some ginger ale, that every time I say exit, take a sip, because we'll give an exit count at the end of this on social media and stuff, so you can follow along. But maybe you want to make a guess now of how many times I say exit in this episode. All right, back to the show. So when the difference, what's really interesting about comparing two businesses of the same size, same industry, et cetera, is that when you add up all the factors of exiting the business, that can produce a 53% difference in the value of two very seemingly businesses. So which side of the coin do you want to be on? Do you want to be the business that, values at 53% higher than their competitor of what seems like the same business? Absolutely, you do. And so let's peel back the layers and let's get serious about planning for your exit. All right. So there are 3 motivators to exiting the business. And the first bucket is personal motivators. And so personal motivators would include that you're looking to diversify your wealth. So, you want to cash out of the business. Or maybe that you have a new business that you want to start. So you want to sunset this business. And then maybe it's like that you'd like to get involved in philanthropy. You have a passion project. You have something else you want to do, and you just don't want to have any ties to your existing business. So the personal motivators is when you want to move on to the next chapter of your life. And when when the reason to exit your business is a personal motivator, one of these that you're looking to diversify your wealth, you're looking to just cash out, you want to start a new business, or you'd like to get involved in philanthropy. This means that you will actually be able to have the highest value in your business. So it's tied to the fact that you have goals that you want to meet. And so you're a little bit more driven to make sure your ducks are in a row to be maximizing your value when it is time to sell. And so what's interesting is that personal motivators represent about 30% of an owner's reason to exit. All right. Now, the next one on the, oh my goodness. Sorry. The next one in the 3 is a personal crisis forcing you to exit. And a personal crisis actually has the most negative value effect on your business. So as you can imagine, during a personal crisis, you're not often operating at your best. So for owners going through a personal crisis, it seems that they may be operating the business ineffectively due to their circumstance. And so instead of harvesting the value of their business, they might be focused on just trying to survive. So, personal crises that force an exit might be that, you're just burned out. You have health issues and you really just need to cut ties with the business. You're either stressed and or time starved, and it's just forcing you to the brink that it's like not worth it anymore. Or, unfortunately, you could have a family crisis and need to step away and exit the business because you need to take care of a loved one or there's something else going on. So personal crises represent 42% of an owner's reason to exit. And then the final reason to exit is that the owner feels like, I peaked. There's nothing more to do. This is about as good as it gets. And what's interesting is the effect of, an owner saying I've personally peaked and I'm looking to exit the business has basically a neutral effect on the value of the business. So it could be, I'm just bored. I don't enjoy coming in. I don't enjoy this anymore. I want out. That would be an example of being personally peaked. Maybe it's that they want to spend time on a hobby. They just want to travel. They just want to cut ties and move on. And they're just done. They're just finished. Or they want to, focus on their health and just kind of eliminate the stress of a business. And so when it appears that when an owner feels that they've peaked personally, again, not really an impact on their business. Now, if you're following along on YouTube, you're seeing these graphics, but if you're not following along, I want you to think of a spectrum. On when you're looking at it, the left side is red and the middle is yellow and the right side is green. All right. And so the red would be those factors that, negatively impact the value of the business. And those would be the personal crises. In the middle, the ones that just kind of have not a neutral value on the business are that you've personally peaked. And on the far end, the one that is green, that zone is when you have, personal motivators. And so I want everyone to think about planning for the personal motivator, planning for making sure that you are maximizing the value of your business. So even if you did have a personal crisis or you did pass away, you've already had the motivation, the personal motivator to maximize the value of your business while you could, steps, months, years ahead of that actual exit, and be in the green and make sure that, when you exit, you are getting maximum value no matter what. All right. So, again, just the role of each category can play when you don't plan necessarily for your exit is, personal motivators are about 30%, personal crisis is almost half at 42%. So that tells you that most people are just not ready to exit. And it's a personal crisis that just leaves money on the table for them. Or about 20% have personally peaked. So what does it take to prepare for an exit? The decision that you want to maximize value, no matter when that exit is the first step. Actually, it's the second step. The first step was you implemented Profit First. Now let's get serious about the next step, and that is maximizing the value of your business. So, how you prepare for this, how you look at things, is super just important to get crystal clear on and to start driving towards that. All right. So what you want to look at this stage are, whether your exit is forced, because of a personal crisis or you die, or because it's what you want at some point. You have to understand, what are your personal financial goals? Owners who've thought about their minimum number in terms of what they want out of the business, get about a 5 to 6% increase or bump in the actual value of the business that they sell. So, when you go in saying, I want $3 million for this business, then, you're likely to get that, and you're going to get that more than your competitors because your competitors haven't thought about this. They haven't planned. It's not one thing that you're going to do. It's not one thing that's going to be the game changer that increases your valuation by 53%. It is going to be the sum of all these things. And so, your value may be 1.5 million right now. And, if you start thinking about what you want out of the business, then that's going to add 5 to 6% to the value of your business, because you've gotten serious about it. You've worked the numbers to do that. And let's keep going through those other opportunities. So what's important is that you lock in that number, whatever that minimum number is, and then work towards getting the business to that type of valuation. And so, you can work with, your accountant. There's, some good studies out there or good statistics on, how you calculate valuation. And usually it is a multiple of earnings, or EBITDA, earnings before taxes, interest, and, appreciation. So, you want to really kind of understand if I want to sell for 3 million and I'm a business doing $1 million a year, well, then that would be a 3.5 times valuation. Are you worth a 3.5 times valuation? I would say probably not, unless you've been planning for it. So you kind of want to understand, if you want to sell for 3 million, what does your business need to be doing consistently? And then what is the multiple that you can sell to get that 3 million? It always comes down to numbers. It always comes down to reverse engineering. All right. So let's get that minimum number that you need to build the business to so that you can sell it for the $3 million that you want to sell it for example. All right. Then the next thing is, preparing for the exit is kind of like putting consideration into your personal and social life. For a lot of us, our business is a big chunk of our social life. Our friends have become our clients, our vendors, the people that we can meet and network with in the Rotary Club, the Chamber of Commerce, the other business associations that you're part of really, are a big factor in your personal and social life. So what's interesting about this is that almost 75% of owners reported that they still work 40 plus hours a week in their business. And so, that's something to consider. Like, what are you going to do with your time of that 40 plus hours a week when it's time to exit? And, you are mixing your work with your social life. 8 out of 10 owners, do mix that business and social life. So you need to be aware of how that exit will impact your circle of friends. And actually that could also increase ironically, the value of your business because you are tight and you have also personal relationships with your employees, right? So that's an important factor. Now, an owner who's willing to accept any option beyond handing over their business and walking away will have a 4 to 5% more valuable business. So I repeat, again, another factor that's going to increase the value of your business, any owner who is willing to accept any option beyond just handing over the business will have a 4 to 5% increase in the value of their business. So, involvement after your exit could be liquidating the business or the value of the assets, transitioning the ownership to children or other people, selling a percentage but continue to run the business. Your transition to the new ownership team. Also to being involved in hiring a leader to take it over. And then the other factor is, I'm sorry, I'm trying to see my notes behind me. It's just selling it outright. So many owners think that the exit will be simple and it's like selling a house. They'll hand over the keys and I'll get a bag of cash in return. But it is different than selling the house. And the more that you're willing to remain involved in the business after the exit, the more valuable the company appears to be. Believe it or not, an owner who's willing to accept any option beyond just handing over the business and walking away really will have that opportunity to get the premium valuation for the business. And, when you think about holding your newborn after your baby is born, you're thinking about their future life, what their career, family, and what's going to happen in their life. And you may wonder how their parenting will impact the lives of their children. So, thinking about generationally. So similarly, some business owners wonder how the buyer will treat their employees after they exit. Because if you're like me, you think of your employees as children. You care for them. You love them almost as much as your children. So we know that 8 out of 10 business owners mix business and pleasure with their employees as well. So in this step, when you think about your employees' well-being, you want to really think through, how will you thank your employees? I think right now the biggest thank you was Spanx, and they sent everyone on a fantastic, just like life-changing trip with the proceeds of the sale as a celebration and a thank you to every employee. But, it's important to kind of think about, how can you set your employees up for success? And also too, that success for the new owner as well, because your business was successful because of your 5-star employees, right? And so when you sell the business, how can you ensure that those employees feel appreciated in some capacity and want to go all in for the new owner like they went all in for you? And so what's interesting here, this is a big one. Having a plan and thinking through your employees' well-being appears to lead to a 21% increase in business value regardless of whether you shared your exit plans with them or not ahead of time. All right. So, it's kind of interesting, like all of these factors and how all of these numbers add up. It's 5% here. It's 6% there. It's up to 21% here when you think about the owner's well-being. Now, another interesting thing, as you get towards an exit, the value of a company appears to be 10 to 12% higher when there is no shareholder that owns half or more of the business. So interestingly, when there's multiple shareholders in the business, and no one owns more than 50%, then that business is 10 to 12% more valuable. Probably for a lot of factors, because you are seeing that the business isn't consolidated in one person's be all end all participation in the company. And so, if one person leaves, it's like a puzzle. You can just pop someone back into that empty space. So, you might want to think as you're edging towards an exit, and again, maximizing value, maybe you start selling a portion of the company at some point, and bringing on additional shareholders into the company, so that it just also tees things up as well for a different kind of exit at some point in time. So when you have addressed effectively the 4 areas that can lead to a 30% increase in the value of the business, let's walk through that. So the biggest kind of like factor, the 17 to 21% is employees' well-being. Ownership structure is about 10 to 12%. So the more owners you have, someone not having more than 50% of shares in the business is a 10 to 12% increase in impact and value. Having personal financial goals set out, being very specific about the number that you want, increases your valuation by 5 to 6%. And your involvement after the exit gives you a 4 to 5% lift. So I hope that these have been interesting topics for you. So this totals the 36% of how you can, 4 things to think about to increasing the value of your business. So as we wrap this up, I just want you to, maybe this Saturday, take 20 minutes, and consider your next chapter. Know your minimum number. Imagine your exit. Imagine the different scenarios of your exit. And honestly, this is going to sound morbid, but imagine you getting hit by a bus. And what's your family going to do? Imagine that. If that is not your number one motivator for fixing this shit and making sure that your valuation is just working towards that peak with everything that you do in the business, do that for me and do that for your family and loved ones. And then number 4, think about your employees. Think about what you want for them. Maybe that final number is 3.5 million because you want to cash out with 3 million, but you want to use $500,000 in some capacity to thank your employees. All right. So if you want more, please go to profitfirstnation.com, where you can connect with a certified Profit First professional and check out our news and our special events. We have a monthly Q&A starting in July, and that date will rotate around and it will be published at profitfirstnation.com. You can also access our resources at profitfirstnation.com. We'll have some the graphics that if you're following us on YouTube, you're seeing now. But if you're listening to us, you can grab these graphics and these points as well at profitfirstnation.com/resources. Cheers to another profitable day, my entrepreneurial friends.
Thanks for tuning in to the Profit First Nation podcast. We hope you found today's episode valuable and that it's inspired you to take action towards achieving permanent profitability in your business. If you want to learn more about how to implement Profit First in your business and connect with a community of like-minded entrepreneurs, Be sure to visit us at ProfitFirstNation.com to download our how-to guides and resources. Remember, permanent profitability is within your reach, and we're here to support you every step of the way. So let's do Profit First right together.
Profit First Nation website, related podcasts, and videos are provided for general information purposes only and do not constitute accounting, legal, tax, or other professional advice. Visitors should not act upon the content or information found here without first seeking appropriate advice from an accountant, financial planner, lawyer, or other professional.